Well, as we know, markets are wildly volatile at the moment. The whole Russia-Ukraine situation has really devolved into what looks like full-scale conflict. We saw the market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies sliding to as low as 1.5 trillion US dollars today, losing almost 9% in the last 24 hours as Russia launched a special military operation, as it calls it, against Ukraine. And obviously the prospects of damage to the global economy has also weighed on broader financial markets. So it's unsurprising. We're seeing most assets, apart from gold, sell off. Sean Sanders, CEO and co-founder of Revix, welcome. Well, our thoughts are obviously with the people of Ukraine at this time. What do you make of the impact that this conflict is having on crypto markets?
Michael, thanks very much for having me on again. So it seems that the inflation narrative, which is what everyone was speaking about just a few weeks ago, has now all just shifted to this geopolitical discussion. And I mean, we can't really underplay the potential impact really of a war that, sort of happens in Eastern Europe. So I think you sort of have to, be focused on that, but you also need to sort of look past that. You need to sort of say, hey, listen, in a year's time or 2 years' time, where are these assets going to be? And, what markets are growing, which markets are not growing. Gold has performed exceptionally well over the last while. I mean, we've actually seen increased interest and sort of record inflows to our Pax Gold token that we have on our platform, which is essentially tokenized gold. And we've also seen a lot of investors come in and sort of, continue this long-term strategy of dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and into Ethereum and into our bundles. So there's still sort of the long-term hodlers that are now just seeing this as a buying opportunity. I guess, you could apply that same principle really across the board to stocks, to you name it. But it really depends now on whether or not you're going to view this as sort of a little blip in the longer term growth of these different financial assets and markets, or if this is going to actually be more of a prolonged sort of downturn. I personally am of the opinion that this is a little bit more short-term focused. And over the long term, markets are going to return to normal. But, over the short term, as always, there's a lot of uncertainty, really. And this is just adding to that.
Yeah, and I tend to be in your camp as well there. If you look at all financial assets, when there's major conflict around the world, there is a deep drawdown and sell-off, and it tends to be a fairly swift recovery. And you look back and you always think, well, gee, that was a great buying opportunity. It's very difficult to run against the herd, though. What about the whole narrative around inflation and crypto as being something of an inflation hedge? Because, as you said, before the geopolitical conflict, everyone was talking about inflation, and we weren't really seeing cryptos track flows into gold, for example. I mean, gold's a traditional inflation hedge. So what do you make of that almost disconnect?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting disconnect to look at right now because gold has been sold. I mean, certainly from all the large fund managers globally as being a potential inflation hedge. The problem is that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies haven't really existed during an inflationary period, right? I mean, since 2008, 2009, when Bitcoin really came about, we've sort of been in a disinflationary or not deflationary sort of environment in some respects. Yeah. So I think you need to see a sort of full inflationary period play out. We're just at the beginning. So I wouldn't write crypto off yet as an inflationary asset. It definitely, or an asset class, it definitely is tracking the sort of broader stock market right now. I think the correlation to the S&P 500 is the highest it's been since, I'm not too sure the exact date, I think it was 2014, 2015. So, I mean, it really has sort of picked up. But as you pointed to, and as you mentioned, I mean, when markets turn down, a lot of assets turn down together. But much longer term, I do feel that the narrative of Bitcoin acting as a store of value will come through. And it actually the sentiment on this may shift quite quickly. And if you start seeing more people agreeing with that narrative and buying into it, then all of a sudden it sort of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that could be an interesting trading opportunity and sort of longer term investing opportunity as well.
You say a trading opportunity and an investing opportunity. Let's just clarify the difference there. What do you see as the main difference between investing in cryptocurrencies versus trading cryptocurrencies daily?
Yes, I think the big thing when you look at trading is really just the time period of having exposure to a particular asset class or individual asset, right? So if you are a short-term trader or just a trader more broadly, you generally are looking to enter and exit a position either within a day or a week or maybe a few months. An investor is generally somebody that is looking to sort of hold an asset or an asset class for an extended period of time. So, half a year, maybe 5 years or even 10 years. And I think there's a big distinction between the two because a lot of people come to the crypto markets wanting to make a quick buck. they sort of believe that they can put their money in, and then in a week or a month, they've made 50%. And in some cases, they're lucky enough to actually get the market timing right and do that. But more often than not, that's just by complete luck that they've managed to see the return. And in other cases, they actually end up losing a significant amount of money. But if you look at the longer term growth within the crypto market, which is the narrative that we sort of repeat sort of week on week, is that this is an asset class that's growing. I mean, look at Bitcoin, look at the just general crypto market from the early days. So over the last, say, 7 or 8 years, and look at where it's come to today. I mean, this is the fastest growing asset class that we've seen in history. The leading indicator of sort of really smart people leading the world, or leaving the world, should I say, of finance, of investment banking more broadly, of software development to come into the crypto space, to come into the DeFi space is astonishing. And that to me is sort of that leading indicator that this is an asset class and this is an area that's going to grow. So a longer term investing approach, allows you to look through all the noise, like the noise that we're seeing right now, and look at really, sort of that 5x or 10x investment opportunity.
And it reminds me of a conversation I was having with one of your colleagues, Brett Hope Robertson, on a panel. We had Valar, we had Luna with the big exchanges, we had an asset manager that focuses in the space, Geltic. And Brett made a comment that really made me think. He said, in terms of the uptake of individuals engaging with blockchain-based technologies, it's faster than even we saw during the internet era, which was compound annual growth of in the 60%. I mean, with blockchain, it's 80 to 90%, and it means that in the next couple of years, we're going to have 1 billion plus people engaging with the underlying technology. It's just, that's phenomenal. That really blew my mind. When you look at the benefits of investing over trading in crypto, how would you separate the two? Because it's obviously everyone wants to gamble and hit one out the park and make 50% over a couple of months. But that, as you said, that's pure luck. What do you see as the benefits of investing?
When you select a investment class, let's say it's cryptocurrency, right, that you're going to invest in over the long term. And I mean, you could replace crypto here with stocks or with property or whatever it may be, but you invest over the long term. It's actually the returns themselves which are really sort of the most lucrative thing to look at, because the compounded returns of having this position over an extended period of time is significant, right? I mean, I always just say, look at the individual coins in existence right now. Go look back over, say, an 18-month period, a 24-month period, a 36-month period. The small little drops that you're seeing currently, I mean, it will look like a small drop over sort of this longer-term time frame. There are just these small little blips. It's that bigger return opportunity that we really believe in. The shorter term traders, yeah, of course, you can stick it, you can stick in front of your screen and you can try buy and sell and do all the rest. But for most people, that's probably not the best way to go. The longer term investing approach is the smarter way.
So how are you incentivizing that? I mean, if that's the right kind of behavior here, ultimately, that we should be encouraging in the marketplace, how are you incentivizing a far more responsible approach to investing in cryptos?
There's really a two-part answer to this. The first part is that we've built these cryptocurrency bundles, which provide sort of diversified, low-cost exposure to the cryptocurrency market. And I think by their very nature, it's sort of taking a more responsible investing approach to crypto. And I mean, sure, you can sell out of a cryptocurrency bundle that you buy on our platform at any point in time. So we don't lock you into any sort of investment period. But buying a diversified product that is sort of incentivizing you to invest over the long term. I mean, to us, that's sort of like the first nudge to do that. The second part is that we are actually rolling out a Vitality-esque rewards program that'll incentivize longer term investing. So if you invest with us over, say, a 6 or 12-month horizon, obviously a lot further than that as well, we want to reward you for doing that. So actually giving you either zero fees or points that you can convert to Bitcoin on the Revix platform. So we've got some cool ideas in the pipeline on that front as well.
Oh, always innovating you are at Revix. And we've spoken about your bundles in the past. What I like about them is they're equal weighted. So in other words, even though Bitcoin's the dominant cryptocurrency in terms of its market cap, if you've got 10%, it'll only be 10% in the fund. It also means smaller ones in many cases are upweighted. So it really gives you a good balance. Then you rebalance that on a regular basis. How are those cryptocurrency bundles faring in the market at this particular time? Because we have seen a lot of volatility around cryptos over the last 6 months.
Without a doubt. I mean, the crypto bundles have still outperformed. I mean, we've got 3 on the platform. All 3 have outperformed an investment in Bitcoin alone, roughly around 1/3 over the last year. But I mean, just like, the broader crypto market, the bundles have gone ups and downs, and it's been a very volatile period. And I think it's important to also note, the cryptocurrency bundles we offer, we don't have traders sitting, in the rooms and offices around me now that are looking to actively beat the market, right? They're not trying to shield you from volatility. They are actually our bundles themselves are built in such a way that they provide you with exposure to the cryptocurrency market. We're essentially trying to remove all the complexity so that you can come about and say, hey, listen, I'd like to buy, let's say, into your top 10 bundle. I've got exposure, broadly speaking, to the cryptocurrency market. And our job then is to make sure that the bundle itself tracks the market over time. So if the market, and that's the cryptocurrency market, declines, your bundle will decline in value. Naturally, if the crypto market increases, your bundle will increase in value.
Do you see this as your big differentiator in the market? If I was to say, why would I choose to invest with Revix, say, over another platform? Is it because you've taken this approach?
I think from a product standpoint, yes. I mean, we are trying to say, hey, listen, if you went back to the early days of the .com boom, you would go and maybe pick an Amazon, maybe, right? Or would you have gone and picked a pets.com? Or would you maybe have picked a AOL, or a Facebook, right? And then there's all these sort of new tech companies that came along that sort of redefined what the sort of bleeding edge of financial innovation, of just general technical innovation and all the rest look like. And for you to have picked those individual winners is really challenging, if not impossible. So with our approach in the crypto space, we're saying you don't have to pick. You can literally own a diversified basket of these top performers, and then any cryptocurrency that doesn't perform exceptionally well is removed from the bundle automatically, and that's part of the monthly rebalancing process we have. And that means that you're constantly owning the top performers within the crypto space, and the largest and most reputable cryptocurrencies. And I think the other side of sort of what differentiates us versus a lot of competitors is that we're the only platform in South Africa to have a proof of reserves audit. So we've had Mazars come in, they've looked at the reserves that we hold on behalf of customers, that's our cryptocurrency reserves, and they verify that the assets we say we have are actually there. For some reason, no other platform in South Africa has done this. We've tried to sort of set the standard here to say, hey, listen, the MTIs, the AfriCrypts, all of those, sorts of bad actors in the spaces, you can care about KYC and AML as much as you want as regulators, but what we really care about at the end of the day is the customer, and the customer cares that you are holding the assets correct. So that's sort of the big difference for us as well.
That's certainly what Geltech like about the Revix option because of that. There is a lot of risk in the space. It's often compared to a bit of the Wild West, but there are very reputable operators out there who have the customer's best interests at heart. And it was very interesting reading the budget review document, the broader budget document, not the speech, right at the back. We see Treasury thinking long and hard about how it's going to start promoting this kind of regulatory approach. So you're certainly leading the way here. If you look at the way professionals are investing in the crypto market, and I think here of asset managers, large institutions, are you seeing them become more interested in the crypto space? How are they approaching cryptos?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. It's actually quite interesting. So I think the retail interest, so, everyday folk, that interest in the crypto space has waned a little bit relative to last year. Last year was a crazy year for crypto. I think the entire market went up north of 70%. But now you're seeing a lot of asset managers sort of warming up to this idea. Naturally, they're slightly slower movers than, I suppose, you and I and all the rest. But now they are speaking with us. They're interested in the space. And what they're the most interested in, certainly from our perspective, is buying into our top 10 bundle. I mean, the sort of S&P 500 / JSE top 40 like exposure-based approach to the crypto space is really what's drawing them in. And I think it is really just the sort of, I don't know, it's more of a responsible approach to crypto investing. And it's not me just trying to shill our products really at the end of the day. I mean, we built this entire business up until this point in time with the idea that investing in the most high risk asset class that exists out there should probably be done in a diversified fashion, which then mitigates your risk within the asset category. So we really do believe what we're selling. And I suppose the asset managers that have approached us, as well as a large bank, unfortunately, I can't name the bank just yet, but they have approached us as well and looking at, launching these diversified products onto their platforms as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason there's that old market saying that the only free lunch you get in investing is diversification. I know the last time we spoke, you were running a promotion. Are you running any at the moment that you can tell me about?
Well, we're about to launch Luna, which is, I think, the 9th largest cryptocurrency, the last time I checked. It's kind of bouncing between the 8th and the 9th. So Luna is essentially, it runs on top of the Terra network. And the Terra network is looking to sort of build this global fintech payment system, right? In a completely decentralized way. It's quite a remarkable cryptocurrency network. It's seen the most growth over the last year. In fact, it was 2021's top performing large cap cryptocurrency, producing a return of over 14,000%. So, people look at cryptocurrency and it is very similar to sort of early stage VC-like investing, right? Where you do get these sort of asymmetrical return opportunities. So we're launching Luna and it's going to be completely fee free starting from tomorrow. That's Friday the 25th. So you can head over to the Revix platform. You can invest any amount that you'd like from 150 Rand, all the way up into Luna, and you don't pay any purchase fees whatsoever. So just a nice little incentive to get people to buy into the market. You've seen a pretty big dip over the last few days, given what's happened in Russia and Ukraine. So maybe this is an opportunity to get in.
How is that spelt? Is it Luna as in to the moon, Luna?
Yeah, to the moon. So Luna.
Luna?
Yeah, you can go to
coincidentally,
Terra Network.
that is the name of my Labrador, who's 2 years old. We got her just before lockdown. Luna. So there's got to be. I'm going to go get some Luna right now. I think the stars are aligning on that one. And if you believe in cryptos, this is a great buying opportunity. I certainly am a hodler and reckon that they are going to go to the moon. So any dip like this is one that I'm going to be looking at. Sean, always a great pleasure chatting to you, and look forward to catching up with you in the not too distant future. Take care.
Thanks, Michael. Have a good rest of the day. Take care.